What's up? Good morning, Christopher. Hey, everybody. I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks Live. Oliver Rust, what's up? Uh, Today I was going to start off talking about science. Actually, it's just I'm I'm interested in that stuff, and it fascinates me. So that's probably why I talk about it so much. But I ran across a quote from Oppenheimer, and he says, "There must be no barriers to freedom of inquiry. There is no place for dogma in science. The scientist is free and must be free to ask any question, to doubt any assertion, to seek for any evidence, to correct any errors." All right. So Oppenheimer, the guy that headed the nuclear program and all that, one of the most famous physicists of the 20th century, that was a quote from him saying basically what we all know: to question the science is to do science, right? Dogma and this, this inability to question things is exactly the opposite of science. And J Dog, what's up? And that that actually, if you follow that path of logic, that would mean today, in today's day and age, conspiracy theorists are more true scientists than the actual degree holding scientists who tell you to trust the science. All right, trusting the science is the opposite of scientific. So that's just very interesting to me how it's almost completely flip flopped. Done a 180-degree spin to what true science is. And today, a day of knowledge and information. We're in the information age, and we're told to shut up and take our medication, shut up and wear the mask or whatever. Trust the science. Shut up and don't question how the universe was made or the age of the universe or anything. Just shut up and memorize your lines. Hardwire, what's up? Tripwire, Raziel, what's up? Hey, fellas, how's it going? And another thing, I read these kind of articles, so that this is the reason I bring this kind of shit up in my live streams pretty often. This is the shit I'm interested in. But I've run across quite a few articles lately talking about scientific discoveries and shit. And this last one I read, the most recent one, was about pre-agricultural humanity, and they said they figured out how humans impacted the environment before agriculture and stuff. And I'm reading the article, and I'm going down, and about, I don't know, 2 or 3 paragraphs in, it tells you how they did it. They ran a computer simulation, and this is a recurring thing. This is like the 4th article this month I've read where they've got this new discovery, and they discovered it by running a computer simulation. They didn't dig some shit up out of the ground or anything. They just plug some numbers into a computer and had it spin out a simulation, and they're treating it like fact, like they discovered something. That idea, I mean, yeah, computer simulation, great, whatever, it's great to do simulations, but I think that simulations are maybe more helpful if you're simulating something that's happening now and projecting how it might play out in the future, rather than shit that happened 50,000 years ago. They don't have all the data. How can they know? How can they run a true simulation without all of the data? They don't know exactly how many people were alive back then, how many woolly mammoths were alive. They know there were some. They can take an educated guess, but they don't know the exact number. You know what I mean? So they're plugging in these kind of ballpark numbers and then coming up with these simulations and saying, "Oh, we know now. We know." That this simulation shit now is science. They're calling it science now, and they're just plugging some numbers into these computers and having them run simulations, and they could be so far off. It's comical. It really is. But some jackwagon like me, I can't question the science. I can't question that simulation. You know, because the guy that plugged those numbers in has a degree. Um, uh, the mentality that we're slipping into in the current society, is just crazy to me. When I start thinking about that shit. Jim from Maryland, J Dog, what's up? Jeff7, how's it going, Jeff? Ant Music and Saga. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, exactly, dude. We don't know how many people are alive today, let alone how many were alive, 30, 40,000 years ago. We have no idea. I just read a thing the other day that they might be off. The population might be off by 1 billion people. Yeah. Not question it, mock it. Yeah. Duncan, what's up, Duncan? Glad to see you here. But just the idea that we have today, this idea that we're being told not to, don't question the science and stuff. When when I was going to school in the 70s and 80s, it was still kind of, that's the way it was. You were supposed to question things. You know, we were taught about the scientific method and to do experiments and all that stuff. Yeah, useful shit, Raziel. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, an AI app detector. Yeah, Oliver. Yeah. And they're putting AI in everything. People are getting pissed off at Microsoft and Windows because, they're plugging AI into that thing, right into the OS. You can't get away from it with that new Windows they have. AI is going everywhere. Gmail, AI, they're plugging AI into Gmail, scanning through all our shit. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so too. Tripwire, much, much older. Yeah. Oh, I think it's so much older that people would think I'm crazy if I said it out loud how much older I think it is. Yeah, I think it's a lot older than we're told. A lot older. Yeah. So I'm with you there, Trip. Yep. And there's a lot of evidence that points in that direction. I'm not going to say proof, uh, but we have a lot of evidence to point in that direction. Evidence that brings up questions, and that shit is cool. But yeah, it's the idea of society, and the more I think about it, I mean, honestly, think about this. Um, Maybe it isn't necessarily these governments that bring down, this authoritarian power on people. And I'm saying maybe. This is just, a thought that goes through my head. And more and more often, as I see what happens, with people and society and shit. But maybe it isn't just all a totalitarian government forcing a police state down on the population. Maybe it's at least partially a completely retarded population begging for it because politicians are lazy, basically lazy, just scumbags. I mean, let's just face the truth. They're scum. They'll sell you down the road. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. But they're lazy as hell. They're not going to go out of their way to do anything. They just want to get up there and scrape as much, rob us for as much as they can while they're in there. And but if their constituency is begging for an authoritarian police state, well, hell, they're going to give it to them so they can get reelected. You know what I mean? Uh, and that's possibly what part of, I think there's more of the population is involved, more of the people are involved than we're kind of led to believe. You know what I mean? And that's just an idea I have. Looking at all this stuff going on today with all these people begging for this shit. I mean, demanding all this socialist bullshit. You know what I mean? I mean, a significant percentage of our population today is demanding socialism, and it's free information on. You just take 5 minutes. I mean, literally 5 minutes, and you can search and find out how horrible socialism is. How horrible, and people beg for it. That to me, that's like begging for a shark attack. You know what I mean? Going out there swimming out in the water and chumming yourself up and shit, just begging for it. You know, it's just insane. Just another guy in the woods. What's up? Glad to see you here. What There's a difference between testing something and running a simulation. Yeah, yeah, that's what I say. Just another guy in the woods. Um, they can't run a perfect simulation. Especially without all of the data, how much sunshine the planet got. There's so many things that go into that shit that yeah, it's not they can't run simulations on that shit. Not good ones, not perfect ones. Yeah, not holding our breath. Yeah, yeah, Christopher, me either, dude. Yeah, the history taught us in school was BS. GF7. Yeah, and it keeps getting modified as we go along. It's even worse now. It becomes more and more bullshit. Jody, what's up, Jody? Glad to see you here. Yeah, exactly, Jody. Yeah. We talk about that, the flat Earth thing, and the honest truth is, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, we can take the experience we had in our lives, and come to a conclusion, common sense, good conclusion for ourselves, or we can take, just follow along with whatever somebody else says. I can tell you right now that the earth is flat 100%. I guarantee it. And then tomorrow morning, come on and say the earth is a globe 100%. I guarantee it. So, what, what are we doing listening to other people? Really? What are we doing? Uh, why do we do that? Why do we just jump on one side of the fence or the other, depending on how what's that how likable or whatever, how believable the person saying the words is, the person relaying the information or the bullshit. That's more to do with whether we believe it or not than whether it's actually true, whether it's a fact in the real world. Just how likable and believable the person is who's relaying the information, the person telling you. Yeah, we were taught all the wrong things about Australia. You mean it's not a country full of criminals and the descendants of criminals? That was my favorite part about Australia. Hell, you're ruining it for me, Christopher. Yeah, most fight to lose. Gobekli Tepe. Yeah, Oliver. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Duncan, they want the wrong things. Yeah, the most destructive things for society and for themselves, self-destructive, self-defeating shit constantly. Yeah. And not only wanting them, Duncan, demanding them, going to the streets and protesting for them. Yeah. Yeah, the if we have AI and automated production, robo socialism is sort of needed, but there's no valid reason to even consider trying to do it with humans again. Yeah. So, my question is, Roz, is automated production and robo socialism needed? Does humanity need that? Or is it just another way for huge companies to increase their profits? Is it necessary? Hmm? That's my question. Um, I have a hunch that it's not necessary, that we could get along just fine, having good jobs and working and building things ourselves. Uh, I just have a hunch, but I could be wrong. Maybe we desperately need AI and automated production and all that shit. Uh, uh, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, we all did, though. Most people did, I believe, Christopher, that we thought that the internet would unite the world. Yeah, but we didn't foresee the whole uh, all the bullshit, the censorship and the lies and the deceit and the division. We didn't see all that shit coming. Jimmy, what's up? Yeah, they're not. Laws of mathematics refer to reality. They are not certain. And as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. Albert Einstein. Yeah, good quote, Jimmy. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Glad to see you here. Doc Shelley. Way too early, Doc. Yeah, well, you might be onto something there, Doc. I don't know. I've always been an early bird, and I got to do these shows before I go to work, so I got to get them. I got to get them early. There's a few early birds, uh, except over there in Australia. They're not early birds over there, and that's another reason I do it this early is so our compatriots over there overseas can join us as well. If I do it later, then it even on the weekends and stuff, it's midnight over there. How many times a day do I make coffee, Armored Ghost? I only drink one cup of coffee a day. Yeah, one in the morning before my show, and that's it. That's all I drink. Never been a big fan of coffee, Armored. Yeah, personally, I just never liked the shit. I know it's crazy, but I didn't start drinking coffee until probably my late 30s, maybe my early 40s. I really didn't. I just don't like it. Uh, but um, I started hanging out with people that drank coffee, and they'd offer me a cup of coffee. And then my sister-in-law offered me a cup of coffee with, and that flavored coffee was just starting to come out and be real popular. And she had some caramel latte stuff she put in it or something, and I tasted it, and hell, it was pretty good. So I drank it. So that kind of became a ritual, and then I started drinking coffee. I just put enough cream and sugar in that stuff to so it doesn't taste like coffee anymore. But that's just me. 2 a.m. there, Doc. All right. You on the, let's see, 2 a.m., 5, so 3 hours. So you're on the West Coast, Doc? Where's Dragonfly? There. What's up, Dragonfly? Glad to see you. No, I can't, Armored. Hedonist who's truly happy? No, they're all miserable. Yeah, pyramids all over the planet. That shit's awesome. Yeah, in a lot of ways, humanity is backwards, Duncan. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, Michelle. It's all for profit. The only yeah, and the people get that all twisted up. The difference between needs and wants. Oh, I need a new iPhone. I need a new this. I need that. I need a this and I need a that. No, you need food, air, water, shelter. That's what you need. Um, and when we start getting away from that, and confusing what we need with what we want, now we're chasing that carrot. You know what I mean? And we can never get happiness because there's always something newer, and they use that companies use that psychological manipulation. They use psychology in their advertisements and stuff, and keep us constantly chasing that new shiny object. So we never be happy. You can't be happy because you can't be happy when not for long periods of time, because that new iPhone will, you can be happy for a month or so, but then they're going to come out with the iPhone 18 or whatever. I don't know what number they're on now, but they're going to come out with the next iteration of it, and it's better. It's got 5 more megapixels. Oh my God, I need that. Yeah, so and that's how they have us trapped with psychology. One of the ways. Gorp mania, what's up, mania? Yeah, humanity is evolving itself out of existence. Succinct, well said, and accurate, I believe. Yeah, yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy, what's up, Jimmy? Yeah, humanity never needed the Industrial Revolution, but it makes life easier. Yes, you're right about that. Um, I would argue, I would ask the question though, has it made life better? It's made life easier. I agree. There's no argument there. Has it made life better? You know, the family situation where families used to be tight knit and all this stuff, living closer to the land, eating real food. The list goes on of things that have changed. Has it made life better? That can be debatable. Why do I think we all have Mandela effects? Well, I'm not really. I don't have a strong opinion on that as to why. I haven't given it a whole lot of thought, and tried to come out with different theories on my own. The only one I've heard is that they've reset time, and uh, is that plausible? Possibly. I mean, it's as good as any other to me, you know. Um, but yeah, if humanity was going to bring itself to extinction, and some power somewhere, or maybe just the code written into the universe, reset our clock, and minor things changed in that, uh, hell, that's just way beyond my pay grade. And could it be possible? Yeah, we need to get past our upbringing. Yeah, yeah, everyone is sick of it, and you're right about that, Razio. Everyone is sick of it. Every generation, but they have us brainwashed and propagandized into, hating each other and shit. Like it's our fault. Gen Z believes it's Gen X's fault for the skyrocketing prices of real estate. They're not going to ever be able to buy a home in their lifetime. I mean, that's just a fact. You know what I mean? Unless their parents were rich or something. But no high school educated person in that, excuse me, no high school educated person in that generation is going to be able to buy a home. That's just impossible now. And they want to blame us for that shit, like us people in Generation X who were waitresses and bartenders and handymen and plumbers, like we did that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's just part of the brainwashing. So yeah, everybody's sick of it, but we all blame each other, and that's the problem. I mean, honestly, that's the problem. Instead of pointing the finger at the corporations and the governments who are destroying the damn world and destroying us, our prosperity, we're too busy blaming each other. You know, it doesn't matter. You want to blame the blacks, blame the whites, blame the Christians, blame whoever. There's somebody out there to blame, and there's somebody out there who's happy to show you who you should be blaming. So it's all about that shit, in my opinion. We're the right age to be the parents of everyone. Yeah. Glue eater. Felix, what's up, Felix? You treasured your crayon eaters, Doc? Yeah, to receive without guilt. Yeah. A younger body, Duncan. Yeah, I think we could all use one of those. Yeah. Yeah, Dragonfly. Yeah. I need a bank account to get paid. Yep. Yeah, I remember when they first started that. What's that direct deposit shit at work? You know, when you get a job and you can have your shit direct, just directly deposited and get paid a day early or whatever it was. Yeah, and a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon. Donald, what's up, Donald Paulson? Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, okay. Had AI really questioning things. Okay, yeah, Terminator shit. Yeah, dude. You think the Mandela effect is gaslighting, Jack? That's perfectly plausible too. I've said before, JPC, what's up? I've said before that the one that I truly know for a fact what is the Fruit of the Looms cornucopia. That it was there. It was on those shirts. It was on that logo. I know that with 100% certainty. So I don't know what the hell. There's some others that I'm pretty sure, and then some are just wrong. Jif peanut butter. Choosy moms choose Jif. I remember the commercial, and not choosy moms choose Jiffy. So some of them are just bullshit, in my opinion. But yeah, a lot of them are are not cemented in my mind as either way. But there are a few that are cemented in my mind. The cornucopia was on there. I know that. Yeah, exactly, Raziel. I don't give a shit about 99% of what people are even fighting for or fighting over. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I just want to be left alone and be free to live the best life that I can, without hurting anybody else. Yeah, mind your own business, Michelle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if everyone would learn how to do that. Brad Davis, what's up? Fellow bank slave. Yeah. Yeah, we're all debt slaves. Do I think the Florida economy is good? No. But armored. Okay, we ask questions like this. Do I think the Florida economy is good? All right. As compared to what? The New York economy? Yeah, it's great. The Florida economy 20 years ago? No, it's horrible. You know what I mean? So what am I comparing it to? So no, housing prices, rent prices are insane. It's just insane. Rent has doubled in Florida since COVID, across the board, doubled in the last 5 years, and that's not even exaggeration. The price of a candy bar. I used to go into the gas station. I've been going to the same gas stations for years. Go in there and grab me a almond Snickers once in a blue moon, a couple times a year. I'd go in there and grab an almond Snickers, $1.69. It's outrageous for a candy bar, but whatever. I'll splurge and treat myself once in a while. 2020 or 2021, I walked in there, grabbed me an almond Snickers, and I started to walk away. And I just happened to catch the price out of the corner of my eye, and I looked, $3.69. What? But hell no, hell no. And I haven't bought one since. So yeah, that's ridiculous. Almost $4 for a freaking candy bar. No, no, no. Just no. So yeah, it's our economy is better than some, and not as good as others. It is what it is, I guess. I got to deal with it. So I'm not one to cry about shit. You know what I mean? I just I got to go to work, pay the bills, figure out how to pay them the best way I can. Lyrain, what's up, Lyrain? Glad to see you here. R. Snyder, there he is. Another Snyder here. I didn't see, who's another Snyder? Did I miss somebody? I think I missed some. Oh, Michelle Snyder. Oh, that's the Snyder you're talking about. All right. Oh, Felix. Thank you, Felix. I appreciate that, buddy. Television, live vision related. Liquid Plumber. Jimmy Kirk. Okay, Liquid Plumber with the E or without the E. I now I don't know. I don't have any specific recollection about Liquid Plumber like I do the cornucopia thing. But the plumber without the E looks right to me. That triggers something in my head, and that's the one that looks right. Liquid Plumber without the E. Scotch Guard. I don't remember that one at all, Jimmy. Tom Baldo protocol that sees a region dig in. Yeah, some hobbit holes, drink beer. Yeah, dude, I'm with you, Ross. Let's do it, dude. Cali is rich. Yeah, California is rich, but the people aren't. Well, half of them are rich and half of them are just dirt poor, from what I understand. Yeah, exactly, Roz. Yep. Yeah, yeah. It's all relative. How hospital food. Yeah, yeah. Patrick, what's up, Patrick? Yeah, 73% hamburger over $6 a pound. Well, you got to pay extra for the hormones and the antibiotics and shit, Patrick. That shit's expensive, you know? Um, they can't just give you those hormones and antibiotics and no telling what else for free, right? $6 a pound. Yeah, I'll go in there and see a chunk of meat in the grocery store, $114. Come on. I mean, the shit's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yep. Yeah, food and gas prices going up. Yeah, all you can eat bullshit buffet. Yeah, Christopher. Toasted shit sandwich, Chris. All right. 7.99 a pound. That's insane. I remember when anything over $2 a pound was just expensive. That's outrageous. $5 a pound? for a hamburger, that's crazy. $4 a pound, anything over $2 a pound was just insane. Now we're lucky if it's $5 a pound. That's on sale. Holy shit. I gotta scoop this shit up while it's on sale. Put that shit in the freezer. $5 a pound. Hell. All right, it's crazy. Yeah. Yep. Oh, not only that, Jimmy, but they hiked up the minimum wage to $20. Got I forget how many people fired. 20,000 people or something, maybe more. That number might be way off, but they got thousands and thousands of people fired, shut businesses down across the state by raising the minimum wage to $20 an hour. Yeah. So they're putting their people in the poorhouse on the streets. I mean, $15 an hour is better than no bucks an hour. I'm sorry. Yeah, and the open area drug use. Yep, that's another thing, Michelle. Iowa for arrowheads and artifacts. Okay, Snyder. Mental. I want to know how Jack Mercer knows what the mental hospital food tastes like. That's a Gen Xer there. Gen Xers know what mental hospital food tastes like. You're Gen X if you're asking compare different mental hospital foods, right? Oh, the Japanese mental hospital food's way better than they have in the United States. Russia's the worst. They got the worst mental hospital food in Russia. That shit sucks. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, you can't have people shitting in front of your business, leaving needles on the street in front of your business, and expect people to step over them and their waste and come in and have a nice burger. That's not appetizing. Oh, cool, Felix! You found an arrowhead in a creek. That's badass, dude. Yeah, bacon's getting to fight. Yeah, yeah, armored. It's all getting ridiculous, dude. Rock and crystal collector, Michelle. Vodka's still kind of cheap. Yeah, that's a prepper um, hoarding thing, isn't it? A whiskey and vodka and stuff. Get it while it's cheap. Put it away for doomsday. Yeah, Michelle, I've heard that. San Francisco is just disgusting. And to think that it was one of the most beautiful and richest cities in the world 30 years ago. And the decline now is just it's insane. Oh yeah, the Treasure Coast, Spanish galleons out there. Yeah, yeah. Okay, 19,000 tripwire. All right. Yeah, that number sounds right. Yep, just in fast food because they raised the minimum wage. Yeah. And the people there, those people that this is exactly what I'm talking about. Those people working those minimum wage jobs demanded that the minimum wage be raised without thinking through the consequences at all. They voted for people who would raise the minimum wage so they could have more money, they thought. So they got these people in there, they raised the minimum wage and got themselves fired. Got the business they worked for, their income was completely shut down. It went from $15 an hour to zero because they raised it to 20. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about when they have people clamoring for this shit, begging for it. They're electing people up into these positions and expecting them to do this socialist bullshit and destroy and then they're all, they want to cry to us and get on welfare and all this stuff when their socialist agenda destroys everything. It's And it's people doing it, the common person doing it, as much as some authoritarian dictator state or whatever. It's the common people begging for it. Sniz, what's up, Sniz? Yeah, I get up early, dude. Yeah, you were right about that. Ever since I was in the army, I've been an early riser ever since. A doomsday cocktail? Ah, it'd be bittersweet. Yeah. I'd miss all of y'all, so that would be bitter. But I'd be living my dream, so that would be sweet. I'd be I'd be tearing off through the woods like Rambo. You know what I mean? Hunting pigs with a Rambo knife. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd be living it up. Well, that's the story I tell myself in my head. The actuality, I'd probably just be, shivering and swatting mosquitoes, and well, no, I'd be sweating here in Florida and swatting mosquitoes and eating whatever I could find. Yeah, Jimmy, California's policies are just insane. Yep. Force everyone to switch to EVs, but don't have the infrastructure for it. Yep. Yeah, and the people elected those fools. The people elected them. They bought into the whole carbon, global warming thing, climate change thing, and elected leaders who would destroy their state without any thought, no research, no thought. They were just told by the big, talking box on the wall. They were told that climate change was going to destroy the world, so they voted in a bunch of morons to destroy their state instead. And that's what we've seen it. We're watching it happen in California. They're demanding it. You destroy us now. You destroy us now, or we're not going to vote for you. Ruin our lives, impoverish us, kill us, or we're not going to elect you. We're not going to vote for you unless you do these things. Okay, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. I'll ruin your shit. Yeah, I'll get rich. Then I'll move to Texas. You know what I'm saying? People are stupid. Yeah. Yeah, still talking about fake money slaves, Brad Davis. Hell yeah, dude. Trying to trying to figure out why they're so dumb. Well, all of us are fake money slaves, but why some of the fake money slaves are so dumb, I guess I should say. No, no, I just disagree with that, Dragon. I think the minimum wage should be abolished, and other everybody wants to argue about this minimum wage thing. Yeah, okay, raise the minimum wage, get a bunch of people fired, and uh, you know, get them replaced with AI, get them replaced with robots. We see the consequences of it, but yeah, we need to. I think that there are better things we could do rather than raise minimum wage. Uh, we could tax companies heavily if they use AI. If they replace for every job that they replace with AI, they've got to pay a massive tax. Every single person that they replace with AI or robots or something, they pay a massive tax. Incentivize them not to fire people. It's cheaper for them to keep someone hired than to pay the tax, and it's the company's choice. Uh, and monopolies are the reason that wages are low. Monopolies and cheap foreign labor. Del Monte owns half the food industry, so they pay whatever the hell they want to pay. You want to go find another job? Go find another job. You're just going to go, you're still going to end up at Del Monte. You know what I mean? There aren't any other jobs. We own them all. And the guy that owns the other half, he's my buddy. Go ahead, go to him, see how much he's paying. He's paying the same that I'm paying. And we're both paying the same to you that we're paying to the illegal immigrants who live 15 people in a trailer. So yeah, that kind of shit has got to be restructured so that there is actual competition between companies. Instead of one company owning 1,000 other companies, there should be just 1,000 companies all competing against each other for the best labor, for the best people. And they should not be able to pick cheap foreign labor out of that pool of labor, right? That pool of that shouldn't be an option either. So if you do those two things, break up monopolies, get rid of cheap foreign labor, the price of labor will go up. These huge corporations have done this on purpose to kill the price of labor. So, raise the minimum wage all you want, but there's still going to be foreign labor working under the table for cash, $10 an hour, even though the minimum wage is $25, $30 an hour. They don't give a shit. They just won't hire people with a valid Social Security number because they'll have to pay them legit wages. So I'll hire or I'll use AI if I can, or AI or illegals, one or the other. I'm not going to pay an American $25, $30 an hour to flip burgers. Hell no. So we need structural change down deeper than just the minimum wage thing. Once that happens, once that is fixed, the reasons for the low wages, once you fix the reasons, then we can talk about a minimum wage. Okay, then it's time for that discussion. Not while the whole thing's broken. Now you're putting a bandage on cancer. You know what I mean? Oh, doc, I got cancer. Well, here's a bandage. Here's a nicotine patch. Whatever. It's not going to do any good. Yeah, to thine own self be true. Yeah, Castnet Sniz. Hell yeah, dude. That's Southern shit there. Yeah. Yeah, crawdads and gators do a body good. Yeah, you're damn right, Roz. One-way tickets to Alcatraz. Yeah. Yeah, schools shouldn't need security against shootings. Yep, they shouldn't. We didn't need them. We didn't need all that shit back in the day. So what's changed, Duncan? But nobody wants to figure out what it is. Nobody, again, we have school shootings. Why do we have school shootings? Nobody cares why this is happening. So nobody wants to go to the root of the problem and fix it. They just want to put a Band-Aid on it, right? Demand security at the schools. Okay, that's good. Yeah, protect the kids. But we need to get to the root of the problem and find out why kids want to shoot up schools now. Why? What's different? Because in the 80s, kids didn't shoot up schools. So they had a lot of guns in the 80s. We all had guns in the 80s, most of us. But we didn't take them to school. So what has changed? Medication, food, the stuff in the food. What has changed? Internet propaganda. What is it? A combination of all of them. We need to get to that, find out the root of the problem, and quit putting bandages on shit. Yeah, vote and get screwed, Brad. Yeah. The California Supreme Court made the legal determination that bees are fish. Yeah, Jimmy, if that's true, I've never heard that before. I'm going to take your word for it now because that is just how stupid California is. They're not California, not Californians, but not all of them. but the California government. So I believe that. Yeah, the bees are legally fish in California. Now you can't get stupider than that. I mean, come on. Oh yeah, abolish money altogether. That would fix 99% of the problems we have in on the planet. 99%. Yeah. Yeah, George Carlin was before his time, Snyder. Yep, you're right about that. Oh, okay. You watched the San Francisco Giants kids play when they had home games? Yeah, vote to make your life worse, Brad. That's exactly what people do. Yeah, and that's my point. They vote and demand that these politicians make their lives worse in almost every single way. Demand it. And if they don't make their lives worse, these people will take to the streets and protest. Yeah. If you try to make their lives better, they will protest against you, try to kill you, and in some cases, kill you, assassinate you for daring to try to make their lives better. Yeah, it's crazy town. Yeah, the inflation. Yeah, Michelle, that's another point, a good point about the minimum wage. When they're devaluing our dollar, what does it matter if you make more money, a little bit more? You're still under the poverty level. What does it matter if you're making $20 an hour, right, rather than 15 if you get bumped up to $20 an hour when hamburger now is $8 a pound instead of $3 a pound. Gas is $3.89 instead of $1.89. And so your money's just vanishing anyway. So it all needs to be fixed at the root level. We can't keep all these arguments about minimum wage and all this shit. These are just surface level arguments, right? Little bandages all over the beach ball. When shit needs to be fixed, not argued about, what color the bandage is. Yeah, by necessity. If they do keep, yeah, Jimmy, exactly. If they do keep their people, if I've got 10 employees and the government raises the minimum wage to $20, I'm going to have to, by force, raise the price of my goods and services to be able to maintain my lifestyle. And if I'm on the ragged edge of keeping my business afloat and keeping these people with jobs, there are employers out there, small businesses, who are doing that just for their employees. They could retire, sell that shit, and leave if they wanted to. But they've got 10 employees who have been with them for, a couple of decades, and they are going out there every day and grinding just so their employees can pay their bills. They're like a family. Now you see less and less of that every day, but these laws and these restrictions and shit ruin these people. Yeah, yeah, under the table shit, Christopher. Yeah, no, they don't, Duncan. No, they don't have to raise wages. They don't have to. I mean, yeah, should wages go up? Yes. Do these companies raise wages to keep up with taxes and inflation? No, they don't. They never have. No, and they won't. They never will, unless these monopolies are busted up and we can get competition back into the game. It's not going to happen. Stay curious. What's up? How's it going? Glad to see you here. Oh no, I didn't know that, Felix. If you make over 250,000, you don't pay any medical tax. No, I didn't know. Yeah, Yeah, Michelle, drive our trucks with shotguns right in the back window. Yep. And park in the high school parking lot. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can't do that shit anymore. Hardwire. No. Yeah. No, not everyone on the planet sucks, Christopher. You're right. Um, hopefully we don't. hopefully, hopefully we don't suck. Uh, but yeah, there's a lot of people who do though. A significant. I'm not. I don't think half really, not that much, but a significant portion of the population are truly just brain dead morons. And what are we going to do about it? I mean, what is to be done about it? I would. I like Trump and I like a lot of what he's doing, but just think about what I just said about the monopolies and that kind of stuff. He's not doing anything about that. He's not busting up monopolies, and those are really the biggest threat. These monopolies and people. I run into people all the time on genex things, and they tell me how capitalism is destroying the world and all that shit. And this is not capitalism. We aren't capitalists. These aren't capitalists. Bill Gates isn't a capitalist. It, Capitalism is a free market and it's competition. Period. We don't have a free market and we don't have competition. We're run by these huge monopolies. End of story. It's just a fact. So that shit needs to be busted up. And until that's done, it's not going to change. There isn't even competition against in the area of lobbying politicians. If you want to say, okay, lobbying should be legal, okay, then you should have different companies competing there to lobby, right? But we don't have that. We've got these huge monopolies that just can give politicians umpteen millions of dollars to do whatever they want done. So yeah, there's not even competition in that anymore, and that's horrible. Competition is a good thing, especially when you're talking about business and free market and shit. But we don't have it anymore. We're not capitalist. So all that shit, people crying about capitalism is destroying everything. No, capitalism doesn't exist. Not in the United States anymore. Anyway, that doesn't exist here. All this globalist bullshit. Tommy, what's up, Tommy? What's up, buddy? Glad you could make it. Yeah, can they hear their own words? Yeah. How can they? It's really mind blowing, dude. Yeah, money magic. I believe honestly. I forget. Was it you saying that? The last live stream, Felix. We were talking about how money and the media and stuff are all kind of trace their roots back to magic. The language also trace back to magic. Back in the pagan days and all that. That's really interesting to me. Yeah, an armed society is a polite society. Yeah, Patrick, you damn right, dude. And that there's a quote. Now I'm gonna mind blank on his name. The author of Conan the Barbarian. Shit. Now when I'm just thinking about it, I know his name because I've said it 1,000 times. When I'm mind blanking right now, but he's got a famous quote that civilized man. Um, how does it go? Something along the lines of civilized man can be discourteous because he doesn't have to worry about getting an axe to the face, and that's the same thing. Open carry. If you're armed, people are more polite. People are more civilized. But when everybody's victims, you know, There's nothing but rudeness, contempt. Weakness breeds contempt, and I mean, these are just facts. Common sense facts. We don't have to debate this shit. You know what I'm saying? These are just shit, the stuff we know. Tank Ferret, what's up, Tank? Yeah, I've thought about that, Sniz, because I spent a year over there in South Korea, and they do that. They have mandatory um, military service, and over there, the rich kids, they get like cushy jobs and shit. They still serve, but they get the cushiest jobs. They get to go hang out with the Americans and stuff. Where when in the '90s anyway, they would still beat your ass in in the army, the Korean army, the South Korean army, the privates and stuff. Instead of getting written up or something, get a reprimand, they just kick your ass. Yeah. And one time I we were out in the field, and there was this high ranking sergeant in the Korean army, and he was talking to me and stuff, and I said I said some bad words. I don't even want to say them because AI might translate it and kick me off, but I said some bad words to him in Korean, Hanguk, and he looked at me, and you know and he said, "Who taught you those words?" Uh, and I just looked around and pointed to a guy, pointed to some private that I knew, and he went over there. He went over there, and they beat his ass and shit. I felt really bad. I was like, "Damn, dude, I don't want to get the dude's ass kicked." And the dude had nothing to do with it. He was all, "I don't know." So I got some poor private's ass kicked just by being a douchebag and wanting to cuss at a Korean. And I just threw it in the conversation. Just threw a cuss word at him, a really vile one in Korean. But yeah, and just acted innocent, like I didn't know what it meant. Yeah, so that was some jack foolery I pulled when I was a kid, and now I felt guilty over it, getting that other poor kid in trouble. Now you can still learn it, Roz. Yeah, Gen X magic is some real shit, dude. It's more about you talking like psychology kind of magic, Roz? Oh, cool, Tank. You got a channel over there, Tank? You might have told me that before. I just got so much shit going on, dude. Email me. I'll share your channel, Tank. Because matter of fact, let me share everybody's channel now. Down in the description of this video, there's Hardwire, Living and Active. Who else we have here? Econ and Cohorts, Ohio Valley Prepping. I put all their links down there. So other Gen X channels that y'all should check out if you have time, and give them a subscribe if you like their stuff. But yeah, back on that thing. Yeah, I'm for freedom, Sniz, but yeah, I think that mandatory military service would be a good idea overall. Yeah, Hardwire. Yeah. It drives me nuts how they say that anyone that likes a lot of stuff Trump does is a cultist. That's black and white, one side of the fence or the other. That's the Democrat Republican mindset. You can't agree with anything he does, or you're a mega extremist, Nazi, fascist cultist. Yeah, that's just bullshit. You can agree with some stuff and disagree with others. I've disagreed with a lot of shit that he's done, but I've also agreed with a lot. Yeah, Michelle. Everybody's getting participation awards for nothing. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to fume angrily on the internet, Raziel. That's exactly what they're going to do. Yeah. All right, Christopher. Lone wolf. Yeah, the Sigma thing. Yeah, that's what a lot of us are. Generation X, we're basically lone wolves. Laugh and cry and kiss your money goodbye. Yeah, Christopher. Gen X must be vocal. Yeah, competition is necessary, Michelle. I agree. Well, Robert, it depends on the situation. We need companies to compete. Without that, if they don't have to compete, they set the prices. They set the prices for their goods. They set the prices for the labor they'll pay. They set the prices. We need competition among companies, and I believe that competition among individuals is a means of growth. Because I must strive to do better than Tripwire. If we are competing for a job, I must strive to do better than him. If I want that job, I must strive to improve myself. If I want that job, I must be better than Tripwire to get that job. And that fuels growth. That makes me learn more, makes me more dedicated, makes me a better person. So I don't see what's wrong. I don't see anything wrong with good, fair, honest competition. Now you can corrupt anything. Everything can be corrupted, yes, and fouled. There's nothing inherently wrong with money. If it was just traded fairly and honestly and we all agreed on everything and people weren't bribed and blackmailed and all this shit with money would be great. AI, nothing inherently wrong with AI. It's the people that use it. And they do the same thing with competition, to destroy instead of grow. You use something to destroy with instead of build with, it's bad. And you want to blame the thing, right? We blame the thing instead of blaming the corrupt system that made the thing bad, that used the thing in a bad way. Yeah. Yeah. Keep competition friendly. It's a means for growth. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with competition inherently. Yes, of course it can be bad. Everything can be bad. A lamp's great. Sits there and gives me light until I pick it up and hit somebody in the head with it. Now it's a weapon. So yeah, that's what I think about a lot of this stuff. Oh, quantum mechanics. Yeah, Roz. Yeah, yeah, psychology and quantum mechanics and stuff. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Roz. Why did Ray Gunn get grief? Christopher, come on now. Don't do that, dude. Don't do that. You're trying to let Tripwire and them Australians off the hook for Ray Gun. No, they're never gonna live that down. Um, where are you at, Christopher? Are you in Australia? So no, no. Ray Gun gets all the grief. Ray Gun gets all the grief. She was what's the word? She was an apocalypse of breakdancing on the world stage. She embarrassed her entire country, an entire generation, pissed off an entire generation of Gen Xers who grew up with breakdancing as an expression, a form of physical expression. She was horrifying to watch, upsetting, very upsetting. That performance that Ray Gunn did there at the Olympics was one of the only things, that I've seen across on a screen that truly offended me down in my soul and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit offended me. Yeah. Yeah, I was offended, and I was offended by the entire country of Australia. Yeah, by putting her up there. Yeah. So yeah, and I don't let Trip and them live that down. No cheating in commercial art, only results. If you're not treating, you're not trying. Be honest about how you cheat. Yeah, that was a saying in the army. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. Um, yeah, but having said that, I was in the army, and they had rules against cheating. Okay, and if you got caught cheating, there was swift justice. You had to do 500 push-ups or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, the thing with big commercial industries and these big um, monopolies, number one, there aren't any rules. They just get to cheat and screw us over by the millions and rob us and shit. Okay. Number two, even if they get caught doing some shit, there's no justice. There's no punishment. Three body problem. Yeah. Yeah. Sunshine and basic comfort. I'll work for that only as much as I have to. Yeah, Russ. Yeah, good sportsmanship in business is important to a healthy economy. I agree, Tank. Yeah, yeah. All of us are losers except the Rothschild. Yep. You're sorry, Christopher, for asking about Ray Gun. I love giving the Australian shit about Ray Gun. It's my favorite hobby now. Oh yeah, cardboard and linoleum to break dance on. Yeah, Michelle. Yeah, Tank. I don't think I could do it either. I wouldn't succeed. I could try, but I wouldn't succeed because I'd tell people the truth and then they wouldn't vote for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just I'd get like 10 people from Generation X who would vote for me, and that would be it. And then all the shiny liars would get all the rest of the votes. That clears that up, Christopher. uh, Jimmy Sharp, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you here, man. Reagan was a turd. Reagan, I don't know if I honestly think she was being legit. She thought she was the shit, like, Dancing with the Stars. No, not Dancing with the Stars, but what was that other show where people would sing? It might still be a show. I don't know. Where people would sing. Not maybe America's Got Talent. Is that one of them? But there was a more famous one than that. But people would get up there, and I only watched a couple episodes of that. At somebody else's house or something. But people would get up there and sing and think that they were singing well and just sound like complete dog shit. And their family members and stuff would be telling them, "Oh yeah, no, you sound great. You need to go on, whatever it was, dance and not dance. I keep saying Dancing with the Stars, but you need to go on that singing show." And then they get on there and sound like complete shit. I think that's what happened with Ray Gunn. She thought she was awesome. Yeah, she thought she was awesome, but they just lied to her. Her friends and family just lied to her, and then for some reason, the the Australian council that chooses the Olympiads, they lied to her too. Yeah, that was the only thing you saw from the Olympics. Yeah, yeah, Lake. Yeah, it was awesome, dude. It was so horrible. It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, honesty loses, Brad. You're right about that. Yeah, and that's not always. We don't always get to see that, Duncan. Poetic justice. Yeah, we don't always get to see that. Yeah, Aussies just can't catch a break. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Tank. Yeah, 10-year sentences for millions in theft. Yeah, rules have exceptions and emergencies. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is, theft over decades of theft, robbery, corruption, though, there's no emergency there. Yeah, I don't know that for sure, Brad, that football is as rigged as wrestling, but I'm suspicious of that, and it would not surprise me one bit. No, Raygun didn't win, Patrick. Not even close. Yeah, yeah. Why all this hate? No, I don't hate Raygun. No, no. It was an epic, awesome failure. Yeah, it was just so it was so beautifully ugly that it's burned in my mind. The only reason I talk about Raygun is to give Australians shit. If I didn't know Australians, I would have never talked about Raygun in my entire life. I would have forgotten about her already. But I know Australians, and that's the only reason. It honestly got less to do with Raygun and more to do with my Australian friends here on genex. Thanks, because I get to razz them about it like they had anything to do with it, right? Like they trained her for the Olympics or something. But what else? What else am I going to pick on them about? I got to pick on the Australians about something. You know, you watch Crocodile Dundee, and Australia is awesome. So you gotta find something to pick on them about. Yeah. Oh yeah. Anybody that has fun, shit. Yeah, I don't give a damn. Yeah, like I said, if it was an epic failure, so I got to respect her ball. She had balls to get up there and act like an idiot in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Maybe or look like an idiot in front of everybody. She had courage. I'll give her that. Yeah. Oh yeah, Hardwire. Yeah, karaoke. The drunker you get, the better you think you'll sound. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That was the Olympics version of karaoke. Yeah, Hardwire. Yeah, too much circus and not enough bread. Gorp. Yep. Have I said hi to you, Gorp? Gorp Mania? Glad to see you here. Yeah, Epstein scum writes the rules. You're right, Brad. Exactly. That's what's happening. The bread is stale. The circus is boring. Yep. Yeah, that's the truth. And not only that, the bread is stale, but then when you finally get some, the ringmaster comes and takes a third of your slice of bread. Yeah. The voice. Yeah, Ross. Do it on purpose. Yeah. Yeah, native Floridians. Yep, Christopher. Yeah, I am. I was born in Tampa. Yeah. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, it's hard to get brainwashed to think. And yeah, I mean, we've got to think. We've got to discuss these things. And even the stuff I say this stuff about the minimum wage and monopolies and all this stuff. And if y'all think that's horseshit, all right, but at least let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Tell me why that's horseshit. Why do we need monopolies? Why do we need these huge multinational corporations putting pressure on our government to to rob us. Why is that necessary? Why is that better than a free market with competition and, you know, higher wages and uh, lower price goods, less inflation? Why is one better than the other or worse than the other? However you want to put it. I haven't seen any evidence even that these huge corporations, these huge monopolies, are better than an open market and a free system. It's I haven't seen any evidence for that at all. You got a donk, Jimmy? I don't. Oh, Australians. I don't need a gun. I've got a donk. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, it's about the bankers that, you know, those big central banks are on top and everybody else is below. You know, that pyramid scheme thing. Yeah, poor communication is better with the internet. Yeah, Felix. Karaoke DJ for many years, Hardwire. Yeah, Snyder, their toilets flush backwards. That's crazy, dude. Brainwashed others to think for themselves. I'm hoping to. Hell, you know, convince others to think for themselves. Burn an extra calorie a day by thinking for yourself. Used to be your side hustle, Hardwire. Yeah, the create more like the Kurds rose to the top, Felix. Yeah, imagine if golf courses grew food, or if food grew in people's lawns instead of these damn manicured lawns. Um, I don't know. There are other ways to do things, and we just don't do them. So no, Chris Reagan, Raziel, no Reagan, the break dancer in the Olympics, the Australian break dancer from the last Olympics. Yeah, that shit was hilarious, dude. could have, could have entered a constipated EMU and got the silver. Sarge in America, what's up, Sarge? Glad to see you here. Holy shit. Damn. All right. I gotta say goodbye. I look here and it's in my time, it's 20 till 5, and I just talk a couple minutes and I look back down and it's 20 after 6. Holy shit. Okay. So I've got to say goodbye, everybody. And I'm going to start with Brad Davis, Stay Curious, Felix, Tripwire, Snyder, Patrick, Just Another Guy in the Woods, Jeff Seven, Sergeant America. Who else we got here? Did I say Duncan, Hardwire? We had Michelle, R. Snyder, Jimmy Kirk. Who else was here? Gort Mania. Did I say Felix already? Did I say Just Another Guy in the Woods already? I might have already. Jeff Seven, Tank Ferret, Jimmy Sharp, Christopher. I said R. Snyder. Who else we got? Raziel. I can't forget Raziel. Who is that? Patrick. All right. So, oh, Sniz. Can't forget Sniz either. All right. I don't know if I got everybody, but hopefully I'm close to getting everyone. If I have not called out your name to say goodbye, I apologize. But goodbye to you as well. Let's see. Brad Davis, Michelle, Christopher. I think I've already called everybody out down here. Okay. And to those of you who watch on TV or don't get in the comments, goodbye to you as well. I appreciate your time. Very interesting conversation today. We touched a lot of bases, talked about the economy and, Ray Gun. Our girl Ray Gun. I'm glad she did that, honestly, because it gave us something to laugh about and something to pick on our Australian brothers and sisters about for eternity. We're going to be in the old folks' home still picking on our Australian buddies about that. So that's awesome. Yeah. So thank you so much for showing up. Rain. Goodbye, Rain. Y'all have a great day. And let's see, what is today? Today's Wednesday, so there won't be an evening show, but there'll be an evening show tomorrow night along with our morning show. There'll also be an evening show on Thursday night. So hope to see y'all there. Y'all have a great day or evening or afternoon, depending on where you're at on our plate, the Earth plate, the flat Earth plate. So y'all be cool. Thank you very much. And let's see, who just showed up here? Somebody showed up just to see the spiel. Who was it? Was it Stay Curious? Yeah, I think Stay Curious. Oh no, it was Sarge. Sarge just showed up just at the end, didn't he? All right, so this spiel is for Sarge because he just skipped the whole damn show and just showed up for the spiel. So here you go, Sarge. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks again. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, it's only $2.99 a month, and I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. But I really appreciate all the support from the members out there. This is the members banner here, and I really appreciate these people. They support the channel directly through memberships, and it helps out a lot. So thank you very much to all the members. If you're interested in Genex gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Genex things and Genex branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description too for any of you who are interested. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Genex Things, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email is genxthings@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.